Open your foldable and imagine a perfectly uniform display staring back at you. No crease reflecting light, no visible groove down the center, just one uninterrupted panel that still bends in half. That's what Samsung demonstrated at CES 2026, and reports say this refined display is headed straight to the Galaxy Z Fold 8 in July. But that reveal is only the beginning of a much bigger rollout. Let's start with the part that affects everyone: pricing. Leading up to launch season, multiple reports suggested rising production costs would force Samsung to raise Galaxy S26 prices above the S25 series. Expectations were being set for an increase. Then Ice Universe stepped in with a clear update. Samsung has locked pricing at the same level as the S25 lineup. No adjustment upward. That decision doesn't stop with the S series. The Galaxy Z Fold 8 and Galaxy Z Flip 8 are also expected to arrive at the same prices as their previous generations. Despite the upgrades in development, Samsung isn't raising the financial barrier to entry. For many buyers, that consistency removes a major hesitation. Now let's shift to the calendar, because the timing is strategic. The Galaxy S26 series is scheduled to be unveiled on February 25th, 2026 in San Francisco. Sales should begin in early March, aligning with Samsung's established flagship cadence. That part follows a familiar pattern. What changes this year is how Samsung plans to handle its foldables in the months that follow. Instead of spacing them apart, Samsung is preparing to release all three foldables simultaneously in July 2026. One launch window, 3 devices, no staggered introduction. That unified approach signals planning at scale. And here's the detail that makes this even more compelling. One of those 3 models isn't simply another Fold or Flip. Carrier databases have revealed 3 separate foldable model numbers for 2026. 2 correspond with the expected Galaxy Z Fold 8 and Z Flip 8. The third doesn't match anything previously released. Leaks describe it as a new wide fold concept, still book style but shorter and wider in proportion, a different footprint entirely. That altered shape could make multitasking more practical, offering a layout better suited for typing, media consumption, and split-screen apps. The proportions resemble early reports surrounding Apple's first foldable design. If accurate, Samsung is positioning itself to define the format before competitors step in. And hardware refinements go even further. During CES 2026, Samsung placed 2 foldables side by side. One showed the center crease, the other appeared completely smooth across the panel. No visible line, no obvious distortion. It wasn't a mock-up, it functioned normally. Sources now suggest that crease-reduction technology will debut commercially in the Galaxy Z Fold 8. The display still folds, but the crease has reportedly been minimized to the point where most users won't notice it in everyday use. Even more notable, Samsung is said to be supplying the same folding panel innovation to Apple for its own future device. Different hardware builds, but the same fundamental advancement. Weight reduction is another major focus. The Galaxy Z Fold 8 is rumored to come in at just 200 grams. For comparison, the iPhone 17 Pro is expected to weigh around 206 grams. That means a dual-display foldable with a hinge system could be lighter than many traditional smartphones. That shift represents deliberate engineering refinement. At the same time, Samsung may increase battery capacity from 4,400 milliamps to roughly 5,000 milliamps, while trimming overall weight. A larger battery and a lighter body has been one of the toughest challenges in foldable design. On the compact side, the Galaxy Z Flip 8 is rumored to weigh approximately 150 grams, about 40 grams lighter than before. Battery specifications for the Flip remain unconfirmed, but the presence of all 3 devices in US carrier databases indicates advanced internal testing is underway. Historically, that stage appears 6 to 9 months prior to release, which aligns precisely with the July launch timeline. Software development is progressing in parallel. Samsung is reportedly testing One UI 9 builds for the Galaxy Z Fold 8, with internal firmware versions already circulating. Meanwhile, the Galaxy S26 series is expected to ship with One UI 8.5. The foldables launching later in the year should introduce One UI 9, suggesting optimizations tailored specifically for large, flexible displays. Hardware revolution is also happening. Early information points to a 200-megapixel primary sensor, a 50-megapixel ultra-wide, and a 12-megapixel telephoto with 3 zoom inside the Galaxy Z Fold 8. That configuration places it firmly in flagship territory. Taken together, these moves show a coordinated strategy. Samsung isn't testing concepts anymore. They're preparing 2026 to be a defining year for foldables.